In a news conference today, President Barack Obama addressed calls for military intervention in Syria. Here's some of what he said.
This is a much more complicated situation. So what we've done is to work with key Arab states, key international partners. Hillary Clinton was in Tunisia to come together and to mobilize and plan how do we support the opposition, how do we provide humanitarian assistance, how do we continue the political isolation, how do we continue the economic isolation. And we are going to continue to work on this project with other countries. And it is my belief that ultimately this dictator will fall.
There are 1,500 Syrian American families living in San Diego County. That's according to a local Syrian group. Michael Provence is a professor of Middle Eastern history at UC San Diego. He specializes in Syria. And Yasser Al-Sayed is a member of the Syrian American Council of San Diego. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Now, it was Senator John McCain who called for airstrikes in Syria, and President Obama today instead called for caution. Now, Yasser, you have family in Syria?
That's correct.
What action do you think the American government should take?
I think what we need to really realize that the Syrians does not want American troops or American fund. They want them to provide a safe zone areas for the citizens of Syria to make sure that there's some refuge to the amount of cities that's been bombarded by the army. We want to have more structural support to the Free Syria Army. That's the army that actually deflectors from the Syrian army. And that support is not by means of arms, giving arms, or it's just to allow them to seek help by the surrounding countries, because there's, for example, now blockage from Turkey that's being allowed for not only arms, for even humanitarian aids. Humanitarians currently are not allowed to go through the borders of Turkey. We have to send them by ships from Istanbul to Lebanon and then by cars through Lebanon. So there's some meaningful support that the U.S. can do by influencing other countries around Syria to allow such help to go through.
Michael, is this sort of domestic politics playing itself out in terms of these calls for military action?
I think so. I mean, Senator McCain was defeated by Obama, and it seems that Republicans and people within the United States expected that national security was going to be a weakness of this administration, and it has turned out not to be. So it seems that the calls about Iran, Syria, and so forth are ways to kind of score domestic points, we can say. But I think that there's no good possibility and no reason and no strategy for intervention in Syria beyond what Yasser has mentioned, which in some cases is already happening in Turkey and in some of especially Turkey, but some of the surrounding countries.
It's going out from Syria. There's refugees that's leaving. That's happening actually.
Yeah.
So there is camps in the Turkish side. What is needed? There's a lot of wounded that are not being sent to the proper hospitals, because as we saw reports today, the government hospitals are taking the wounded from either the Free Syrian Army or the civilians, take them direct to jail. So they are fearful to go to the hospital. So there's basically temporary hospitals being done in homes or mosques, and they need all these supplies, and so that's the point, that there's supplies not coming into.
And you hear firsthand reports from your family. What do they tell you?
So few things. For example, a couple of my family members in Damascus has been held for 2 months now in jail. Nobody knows where they are. Simply they are absolutely in a demonstration, peaceful demonstration, calling for freedom. That's the beginning of the where people start to say, we want freedom, we want to have our human right, and that's about it. There was not even one arm in there. Another family member who was simply in Homs, and he was in a demonstration, got a bullet. He tried to get, so he got the bullet. He didn't die from it. He was taken to hospital. The hospital basically looks like there was army brigade in there, so they didn't go there. He died actually from just losing blood. Some other very, very sad story that's the beginning actually happened in Dara, and this is from my wife's side. One of her cousins, he's a kid. He's one of those group of the kids that actually made those paint, and he was actually tortured and his nails were out. And people don't believe that, but it actually happened. And it happened under the management of the cousin of the president. The cousin of the president who was leading Daraa, and because he's his cousin, he didn't actually even prosecute him. And the president himself, President Bashar, have actually admitted there was mistakes happening in Daraa. He admitted that these people were treated in a way that they shouldn't be. However, did nothing about it. What he did, he sent his brother with troops to bomb the city. That was the start. There's so many tanks around there. We need structural support. We don't need arms to go in. If we wait more, there will be a vacuum, and there will be extremists who will play there. There will be a lot of wrong people that will help these civilians, and we don't want those wrong people to help. We want structure, we want proper government, and that's some of the support I have for General McCain is because of that. Not to freely put arms in Syria. That's not what we're calling for.
We're out of time, but Yasser, before we leave you, I do want to mention that you joined the local group here to socialize with fellow countrymen, and now you are going to Washington, D.C.
Correct.
Why?
Correct. So basically, the Washington, D.C., it's the annual anniversary for the start of the Syrian revolution. And we're going to be many hundreds of us, probably thousands from Syria around the U.S. We'll go, some in buses, some in cars. And I know there is a bus that's painted about Freedom Syria. We'll go from city to city. The idea will be there on this March 17th, which is basically the annual Remembrance Day for this revolution, to basically get the administration to hear us. We are American citizens. We are American people who live here. We have some ties to the Syrian towns and countries and those villages, and we need proper, serious support. President Obama have said dictator is going to go in days. You can look at the clips. For many months, he's been repeating the same thing. What's been happening? And I believe we need to deal with this more seriously for strategic, not to be helping the third world country just for that. This is a strategic U.S. interest to have this area stabilized in a proper way.
Well, thank you both, gentlemen, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.